In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. As far the interpersonal relationships are concerned, one thing in the Western world is very, very common, and this is that one person will be found saying, telling, informing the other person that this is my boundary. These are my boundaries. So you do have to take care of these, and you cannot cross these boundaries. You cannot violate it. So this is what is there. Everybody, almost everybody in a Western world knows it. Almost everybody, among the developed countries knows it. Obviously, there are unfortunately many of the couples living with a proper wedlock, and particularly, and as far men are making friendship apart from those intimate relationships, they are friends with the female, and female are friends with the male. So in all of those cases, so people do set boundaries, and they inform each other that these are my boundaries, you cannot violate it. You have got this much of the access, you have got this much of the access in my life, and obviously not beyond that, you know not beyond that. I think this is something what we need to take care of here in our societies, in our society as well. But since the people here in our society, the education level is not so high, plus we people are not taught here in our society. Unfortunately, we people are not told and taught and trained to somehow take care of your rights. If at all you are having a kind of friendship with someone else, it does not mean that the other person can say anything and can do anything else. Obviously, there must be, obviously, everybody have got a limited amount of access, into the life of another person. As for the unlimited, or a total access is concerned, that is not the right of anyone else at all. It is the right of only that particular person. So here in our society, unfortunately, many of the people become toxic, and toxicity, they keep growing, they keep saying, and they keep doing the toxic thing, which is really the toxic thing. Why? Because the thinking is negative. Why? Because they want to manipulate. And why? Because they want to exploit. So there is still another thing which is very commonly seen there in the Western world, in the developed world. And this thing which is very common over there is that I change my mind. I change my mind. So I think so. As for this change of the mind is concerned, again, it is the right of every individual. Why? Because with the passage of time, we are knowing more and more, and we are conceiving more and more ideas. So keeping in view all of that, keeping in view all of that, dear friends and fellows in Pakistan and abroad, I think we are improving as far our knowledge is concerned, and we are getting better and better options as well, avenues to work upon. So I think as for the change of the mind is concerned, that is also the right of every individual. It does not mean that a person is somehow has become a slave of another person, and we are bound to obey anyone else. We are bound to obey somebody only because we had given them a kind of access, a small access into our life earlier. So for that reason, we are bound to accept whatever they demand, whatever they people are asking us. I think so. Changing of the mind, that is also that should be considered as an inseparable right of every individual. And it is also, a freedom up to this extent is also necessary. A freedom up to this extent is also necessary or essential for each and every individual. Dear friends, I think we have no right, to actually to somehow abuse someone else. We have no right actually to somehow manipulate or exploit someone else. I think this is how we need to take it. This is how we need to take care of the boundaries of another person, the boundaries which another person has set. And the secondly, if at all somebody changes their mind, I think we should be giving it as their right. And also we too have got a right to change our mind as well. These things should be taken care of if at all we want to become a civilized person, if at all we want to become a truly educated person, a person with the attitudes of an educated person. These things must be kept in the mind.